Do you feel that certain events always come before the others? Like, let's say, breakup is always preceded by the move? That would be very useful as a warning or preparation that something may happen. But I don't feel it either. Maybe someone who is meditating like 5 hours a day, he has access to those informations, but for our thick-skinned, we have astrology. In today's video, we will be analyzing exactly that. It's just like when you click with imagine very big thumb and you try to press on keyboard, not only one key would be hit, but several at once. So similarly, certain things are karmically intertwined, so it's important to know this information. And today, of course, with the permission, we are going back to the consultations of my clients. So it is from yesterday. In this case, we know she's separated from her partner, and few months back, she was buying an apartment and also the child was born. So we have 3 events and they are connected through the planetary period, and this is excellent example. Because without examples, we can have aesthetically nice concepts, and even logically, they may be nicely, holistically connected, but if they are not related to the reality, this micro-macro relationship, then we cannot use it for predictions. So the whole power is then lost. Through the research, we can connect astrology back to life. By the way, I don't know how it's in your case, but in this weekend, there will be like 43 temperature on the Sunday. So it's a big heat wave coming. Let me know how it's in your place. All right. So when we hear this from client, we are going definitely to the analysis of the 7th Lord and Venus. Because 7th Lord is about relationship. 4th Lord will be about the property, and 5th and 9th are about the children for the male and female respectively. Among the planets, Venus is about relationship and Ketu is about apartments. So when we analyze that, we see 7th Lord is Jupiter here, afflicted by Rahu and Sun, and Venus is here in the 12th from that 7th Lord. So that relationship, Venus and 7th Lord, 2nd and 12th is not the best. And also here we have those 2 malefics, right, which are joining this Jupiter. By the way, malefics are rough planets, even if they lord good houses in your chart, they still may be working in a rough way. So when you analyze your chart, 7th Lord and Venus are afflicted, then possible misunderstanding, communication issues, the separations, and people are having hard time to be together. There are some challenges. So it's like orange light is already there. And this may, of course, be like simple miscommunications or values alignment things, or the family members or friends. So the default normal challenges, but also it can be very big things like a toxic relationship, gaslighting, all the narcissism and addictions, and all more serious problems. So look also in your chart how these plans are placed, but remember it's only an orange light. We cannot go farther than that on this stage. And treat it as just creating some drawing with only black pencil. There will be time for colors. So wait for that with the Varga, so the divisional charts. Now we are going to the Navamsha. This may turn the light from orange to the red. Therefore, it is a confirmation chart. We have to see Jupiter and Venus. Jupiter is very nice directional strength, because when Jupiter or Mercury are in the first house, they are getting some extra strength, which is the Digbala. And Venus is nicely in the 3rd house. So we have them here. And are they well placed? Venus is between 2 malefics too, right? We have this Mars, we have this Rahu. And after Venus, we have this Mars and Saturn. So there is some issue here. Jupiter seems fine. So normally we would say, yes, Jupiter is spared. But Scorpio and Aquarius just by itself, for Navamsha, they are challenging things. And that Scorpio here, if we go back to Rashi, it's the 6th house. So in fact, Jupiter is also here problematic. So we can say, yes, there will be some challenges. We now have this confirmed. Still, there are many good things about this Jupiter and Venus, especially that Jupiter in the ascendant will give this person like focus on respect, common values. We are going somewhere, we have to build our life. So Jupiter also give fortune from kids, very nice relationship, inner fulfillment. So many blessings are also coming from this placement. The Navamsha is the answer why 2 people with the same Rasi chart can have so different life. I remember in my philosophy group on my studies, there was one person who had exactly the same chart as my other friend, and their life were quite different. One is artist, designer, and is living completely different life than the other who is employed and working in more corporate job. But not only jobs, all the other things are also different, but completely same Rasi chart. What will reflect the difference? The spread of the dashas. So different plants will be activated in different times. That is one thing. And the second, of course, the Varga charts, the divisional charts, the additional charts we have in Vedic astrology. Don't forget, if you have those problems in the Rasi chart, 7 Lord and Venus, check the same plants in the Navamsha and see how they are placed. Also, what kind of yogas they are involved in. Like in this Navamsha, if we see that nice Jupiter in first, Moon exalted in seventh, we could now exclude many problems which the Rasi chart could give us as an options. Okay, so we have the foundation. Now let's go to the period. It was in Jupiter Mercury. So we have this Mercury, which is bringing all those things together. Now that would not be a big challenge to say why Mercury is bringing the apartment. Mercury is the fourth lord. So nothing more easy for that. We also have here the Ketu. In the D4 chart, we would have also the Mercury lording fourth. So you can observe here that in those divisional charts, in those early like D2, D3, D4, often meaning of them will be very nicely reflected in the main chart, Rasi chart, because those houses will be the same. Like here we can see that this Mercury is here activating the fourth in the Rasi chart and fourth in the D4. So you may say, oh, he got the property in the fourth house dasha. But if you will take another Rasi chart with the same fourth house, it will not work. Why? Because in true, it was fourth lord in D4, which has given that event. But anyway, here it is the same Mercury. Now the child, we see it was Mercury as a fourth lord, so property in the ninth. Ninth for ladies is children. So nothing more easy. Fourth lord in the ninth, property and children. Again, if we open the chart of children to confirm these 7, we will notice that Mercury is with 5th and 9th. So if we count reverse or if we count direct, it will have this Ketu activated. By the way, the Dasha, the Rasi Dasha, there are also the sign timing system controlled by the sign. It was Gemini. So again, activating both property and the child. And it's beautiful because when Mercury is connected to the children, it brings a lot of fun, joy. There is a good communication, especially if nicely placed. There may be pets in the house, animals, games, a lot of laughter. So it brings the whole family like 10 years younger. And we are sure about this Saptamsha. So now in the Viveka, you can also see the whole journey to the D60. Like, for example, we are here on the D7 and we see, yes, this is Cancer. In the Dashamsa now, we have option. Is it Cancer? Is it Leo? And that will also determine the whole story up to the D60. So you can see it visually with the colors, what to go next with your rectification to go to the D60 effective and fast way. Okay, so we don't need any more Vargas to understand what's going on. So why these events are going in this order? If we will see 7th Lord is in a 10th, that should give spouse with whom you are working together or with big position or someone who is the leader of some organization. Mercury is in the 9th house. So yes, it shows children, but why there is a challenge and how it is connected, it is quite difficult to get it. We have a Rajasic planet. So Mercury in 9, Rajasic is about the desires. So it can manifest, I'm changing the job, I'm changing the partner. Maybe there is something better. So there is a lot of movement and always thinking about the past and considering maybe I should now make some transfer to even better situation. The nature of Raja Grahas is coming into the play when it comes to choice and options in life. And we remember that Mercury was that thing which is bringing all the things together. Now you may argue, that would be a very strong argument, that the Dasha may bring the events in parallel simultaneously, but it doesn't imply necessarily the cause effect. And I would say yes, but it doesn't matter for our context because we want to get something like Nimitta. Nimitta is an omen. It's a sign. So we want to know those events which precede something bigger is happening, just to be prepared, just to know what is there. So we don't need specifically the cause-effect relationship, just even if things are not connected, but if they come together, is already a good sign for us. Now, why did the Mercury bring separation in the first place? If we go back to the Navamsha, we will notice that Mercury is taking or sixth house, eighth lord. So it is covering the two most strategic things for ending the relationship, being the separation and the divorce houses here. So very strong candidate. With such positions, I know that this Navamsha chart doesn't need any birth time rectification. It's correct. And remember, we were talking about this big finger, which is hitting many keys at once and many letters are coming up on your screen. So that Mercury is activating other areas. So if we know that in that dasha Mercury got activated, what if we would just take that Mercury from the Navamsha, because we know, yes, it has potential to give separation, divorce, or just some big challenges in matters of relationship. If we would bring it back to the Rasi chart, why we do that? Because in the Rasi chart, we are going from the branch to the trunk, because in the Rasi chart, it's like all colors or events are intertwined. So if you want to know how one area is connected with others, there is no better chart than Rasi chart. So we are going back and we see, yes, Mercury was related to property and ninth house children. So that's the way. And we've already checked all these in Vargas, so we don't need any third level confirmation that it will activate the buying an apartment and birth of the child. So what tied everything together? It was the dasha. It is a secure way to jump or to connect things from Rasi chart and the Vargas. So if you have sixth house connections in your chart, take that planet, even the Lord, and see how it is connected to the Rasi chart. And this is how you will know this nimitta, this signs, what can be activated before the breakup. We know that it was also the dasha of Gemini. So if you know the Rasi dashas, like Narayana dasha, then you may also start with that. So we see the same period gave her a child, the apartment, but also brought the separation from the partner. And we can exactly see how this is shown in all these four charts. Of course, this person will have also positive things related to all these houses. We could start with the Indi Navamsha with the seventh house, the seventh lord, with the good planets connected to these, because in everyone's life, we have those stabilizers, which are good planets and good friends, good people, good situations, and also these disruptors. So we can see that this was a disrupting phase because it was in sixth house in Navamsha, but there will also come a time, and in our chart, we have also this stabilizers, which is just another name for the remedy Raha. We can have two bonuses here. Is there another way to know that this children or property will be an important factor in stability of our relationships? Yes, we have such point. It is called the Upapada, and to be exact, second house from Upapada. As you can see here, Upapada is in Aquarius, so in the second we have Jupiter. In such situations, it's children or often our politics or views will be important to maintain the relationship. We have a Rahu here, and the Rahu is enemy of Jupiter, so can disrupt this thing. And in the other dasha, when this has happened, you can see here, we got the Rahu, right? So in Adanavim Shodri, when it all happened, it was Rahu. Now, Rahu is in the 10th house. It's good for Mahayagya, which is a big thing which you can do. It's like pilgrimage. It's like remedy. You can use it as remedy if you are in Rahu, because Rahu will have many, many years. So you can just do one big pilgrimage and it can give you something, or at least you can test it if you will be close to such opportunities. And also we see here Jupiter is an own sign, so there is also a blessing, and Sun is in directional strength. So we have three blessings which are activated now when that Rahu started. It gave, of course, the separation, because this is in second from Upapada, afflicted. So we can see how the nuances of life are also here, can be depicted in Vedic astrology. Because there will be relationship, there will be situations when coming up child is like neutral for the sustenance of relationship. It's not giving anything good, it's not giving anything bad. It has no big shifting feature. Whilst when Jupiter is in the second from Upapada, the situation is completely different, because the coming of the child can cause some big changes, positive or negative. I always say this, you must talk with your partner about those issues in second from Upapada. This has to be discussed in the big way. There must be some unifying, some common view what we will do. If there are differences, this has to be somehow discussed, because if there will be problems, if the whole car of relationship will stop going, then it will be because of the second from Upapana. Maybe second bonus of insight. We were talking how that Jupiter, Sun, and Rahu are very good from other perspective. So we have to also learn and appreciate the fact that there is a local and global judgment of what's going on. So locally, that was quite disruptive, especially for the relationship. But globally, it may still be good. So many times something challenging, when we look at this thing from, let's say, perspective of 10 years, we would say, wow, that was the best thing which could happen. I was crying. I was in very bad situation like depression, sadness. I was alone. It was really hard period. But then you think, oh, it led me to this and that. So we can see that when Rahu started here in Adanavim Shotri, it will activate many, many things. It also brought locally this challenge for relationship, but globally it's a very positive period. And for people who are suffering, and in that suffering we are usually have restricted tunnel vision, it's important to bring that broader perspective that, look, in your life, this is locally problematic, but globally you are entering some big wave of positive change. So before you say, oh, I'm in a terrible period and I don't see the light, look that globally it may be start of something great. So we have seen how that one Mercury has intertwined those three events of bringing the child, buying the apartment, and also the breakup. And we can use those information to be prepared for what will happen. If you'd like to know how this is manifesting in your chart, which actions are connected together and in which period you are now, then you may consider the consultation. The link is below in the description. If you like to see the general basics of relationship analysis, then I'll see you in this video here.